Let's see. I'm just going to go with, somebody's going to come in and pass me another note. This has got to be done faster. Cyrus in Atlanta.
Hi, how are you all doing this evening?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'll get right to it. There's a creepypasta meme. I'm not sure if you all are familiar or the listeners out there are familiar.
My 11-year-old loves creepypasta. Although lately he's started to notice that the writing quality is not that good. So
okay, I'm officially old.
Okay, so creepypasta is this website where like just random people on the internet write horror stories, and they usually write them like taking place in their favorite video games. So it's kind of very special interest, and for the most part, terrible writing. And there's a YouTube channel where they dramatically read other people's creepypasta and laugh at them. So yeah, okay. So what'd you find?
And the way that I came about them actually was on various image boards. They used to post, they'd have some sort of image, to kind of stir up your imagination, and then, in some kind of creepy font, they write out this long story, and it just almost seems like some sort of relic that you're getting that no one else is supposed to be seeing,
Well, the Blair Witch Project made like, thousands of times its investment back, so everybody wants to be that.
Right. Well, I was recently reading one, and I thought it had a nice little premise, and
okay.
Basically what it was this particular one tells a psychologically disturbing tale of an experiment involving the subject to be severed of all of his senses on the premise where, quote, they believe that the five senses clouded our awareness of eternity.
Okay, and honestly, that sounds like a good premise for a Twilight Zone.
Yeah, So, they said the five senses clouded our awareness of eternity. Without them, a human could actually establish contact with God by thought.
Okay.
And so I found this to be, the story itself is a little silly. The details don't really all add up.
Creepypasta?
But
no.
It's provoking. Yeah. But it is provoking. So my question to you was, do you all think there is a possibility that all of what we experience through reality, however we can extend through our human experience, do you feel that that is all there is there? And is it important that we find out that that's all there is the, smell, touch, taste, hear, and sight?
There's always a possibility that anything could be true, even the existence of God. But the problem is that, you've got to deal with the principle of there are a limited number of ways that we get reliable information, and we have to go with the stuff we've got, because otherwise we're just making things up with no good reason. And so the principle at work here is that you don't believe in stuff without a good reason. So, sure, it's possible that there's stuff like, if we could see on the ultraviolet spectrum, we'd be perceiving a lot of stuff that we aren't noticing now. Of course, we have scientific instruments to do that now. But we have to try to take in as much information as we can about our universe. But we can't just pretend that we know stuff that we don't actually know.
Yeah. Well, this whole science thing is pretty important because, we through the scientific method, we've learned a lot about the universe, and we've made technology from that science. And so that technology is proof that we understand these things, right? The technology works because the scientific models are accurate. So it's, yes, we might have some blind spots. Yes, we might not know everything, but what we do know seems to be pretty accurate.
Right.
So don't throw that out.
Okay.
It's pretty valuable stuff.
Right. Mm-hmm. Understood. I had a quick second one I wanted to pop in if you had another minute.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. And I wrote these down, so I'll be succinct. Cancer as an evolutionary trait or mutation. I've seen online people with cancerous growths that have their own circulation within them. It'll become a legitimate appendage so to speak, of someone's body, as our eyes help us to see what could cancer, quote unquote, serve for evolution and adaptation that we might be ignoring?
Cancer is really good at aiding in survival of cancer. Cancer has no interest in our survival or well-being. I mean, the thing about evolution is that we have all these species that are competing for dominance, and the vast majority of species that have ever existed have gone extinct. So, maybe a religious mindset requires us to look for the purpose in everything, but the fact is that if there is a competing horrible disease that is trying to kill us, it may very well wind up killing us and providing no advantage to us, and that's why we, do our damnedest to come up with medical technology that subverts the natural order of things in some sense. I mean, it's ridiculous to sit around and wait for something good to happen, to come out of something that is obviously awful for people.
Right.
You have anything?
Oh, no.
To add? Okay,
That's right.
That's
So no,
awesome.
and we don't have cancer creating little baby cancers and them, so this whole evolution angle, I don't quite get, right? It's a misunderstanding of evolution.
I was trying to take it from a non, where we're seeing it as an advantageous for humans, and not more so as if there was some other intelligent species that preceded, where might cancer be seated? As evolution does. If maybe I'm interpreting evolution incorrectly, but from mutation, so to speak.
My recommendation to you is to pick up a basic introduction to evolution, because I think you've got some ideas that are not quite right. I learned a lot of evolution from Richard Dawkins, The Blind Watchmaker, and I hear that his recent book,
The Greatest Show on Earth.
Thank you.
It's quite good.
Is very good also.
And Jerry Coyne's Why Evolution is True.
Those
Jerry
are all Coyne's an excellent writer.
Yep.
I'm not meaning to offend by bringing up cancer.
Oh, no,
you're not offending.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's good. I'm all out. I really appreciate what you guys do. You've helped me a lot in my own life, depending on, having some other support. You hear people weekly talking about what they go through. And, I have a family full of believers, and I've slowly transitioned from a hostile atheist to someone who's learned to, deal in a lot of ways. And it's from listening to you guys and a couple other people. So major props, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, but seriously, consider reading up on evolution, because, the more you know.
The more you know, it's cool stuff.
Okay.
Okay, take
I
care.
agree.
Thanks.
I'm not afraid to learn it.
All right,
Good.
see ya.